He didn't tell anyone. Not his friends. Not his parents. Not even the mirror he stared into every night, searching for purpose. For 30 days, he chose silence over status updates, stillness over social validation. While the world was busy showing off, he quietly vanished, not to hide, but to heal. He didn't beg for attention or try to prove his worth. Instead, he started following a set of rules, small, silent habits that no one could see, but everyone eventually felt. 30 days later, he walked back into the world. Not louder, not flashier, but stronger. You want a better life? Then don't talk about it. Don't post about it. Just follow these 10 rules, silently. He used to explain everything. Why he was changing, what he was learning, where he was going. He thought if he said it out loud, people would believe in him more. But the truth. The more he spoke, the less they listened. One day, he stopped explaining. He realized that silence is not weakness, it's focus. That was rule number 1, stop explaining yourself. He no longer justified his habits, his boundaries, or his goals. People would either understand later or never understand at all, and both were okay. Then came rule number 2, vanish from the noise. No more background distraction. No more constant checking, scrolling, comparing. He removed the apps, unplugged from the crowd, and entered a space where the only voice he heard was his own. It was quiet. It was uncomfortable. But in that discomfort, he began to rebuild. He didn't try to change everything at once. Just one habit, one tiny action, done daily. That became rule number 3, repeat one small habit every day. For him, it was waking up before sunrise and writing 1 page in his journal. Nothing big. But consistency breeds confidence. Over time, it became the anchor of his mornings. Rule number 4 came naturally after that, track progress, not perfection. He stopped chasing flawless days. Instead, he counted the days he showed up, even when he didn't feel like it. He wasn't perfect, but he was present. And that's where real growth lives. Slowly, his inner voice got louder, clearer, more forgiving. He was becoming someone he respected, not just someone others admired. The transformation wasn't visible yet, but it was happening underneath. There's a point in every transformation where the real work begins, not in the gym, not in the books, but in the boundaries. By week 2, he started noticing something strange. The more centered he became, the more the world around him tried to pull him off balance. Random calls, unnecessary arguments, invitations to things that didn't align with who he was becoming. It wasn't a coincidence, it was a test. That's when rule number 5 came crashing in like a wake-up call. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Peace isn't a luxury. It's a survival tool. He used to let people vent their chaos into his space like his time didn't matter. He thought being available made him a good person. It didn't. It just made him exhausted. So he did something radical. He stepped back. No announcement. No fight. Just silence. He stopped answering every message the second it arrived. He didn't owe instant access to anyone. People called him distant. They were right. Because distance is what it takes to heal when the noise won't stop. But it didn't stop there. The real challenge came with rule number 6, say no without guilt. That word, no, had always felt heavy on his tongue. Saying no to invitations. No to favors. No to people he cared about. But here's what he realized. Saying no to others was sometimes the only way to say yes to himself. The first time he said it, his stomach twisted with guilt. The second time, it was easier. By the third time, it was liberating. He wasn't being rude. He was being responsible, with his energy, with his time, with his future. You don't get to level up in life without subtracting the things that hold you down. Every no cleared more space. More air to breathe. More hours to build. More calm in the morning. People started falling off, not because he pushed them, but because they were never supposed to stay. He wasn't cutting people out of his life with a blade, he was doing it with boundaries. Sharp, invisible lines that said, I'm not available for that version of me anymore. This phase was the loneliest. It was also the most powerful. He walked alone on purpose. He didn't need validation from people who only called when they needed something. He didn't need to be in every group chat, every weekend plan, every trending conversation. While the world chased temporary highs, he was building quiet strength. He was rewiring his entire nervous system to recognize peace as normal, not chaos. And the beauty of it? He didn't have to explain any of it. They'd see the results soon enough. Because when you protect your peace, everything that disrupts it begins to disappear. And that's not loss. That's alignment. It wasn't the mirror that told him he was changing. It was the way he moved through the world. Slower. Sharper. More intentional. Something in him had shifted. Not loud enough to be seen by others yet, but loud enough to be felt by him. That's when rule number 7 emerged like a quiet truth whispered in the early morning hours. Feed your mind like your body depends on it. Because it does. What you consume doesn't just fill your time, it builds your reality. He stopped binge-watching people who had the life he wanted. He started studying them instead. He replaced noise with knowledge. Every day, he gave his mind a meal, 5 pages from a book, 20 minutes of focused learning, 10 minutes of deep reflection. Not to impress. Not to memorize facts. But to sharpen his edges. To clean the glass through which he viewed the world. Growth isn't about becoming smarter than others, it's about becoming wiser than your past self. As his thoughts became clearer, his body followed. That's where rule number 8 came alive. Move your body, even on the days you don't feel like it. Because especially on those days, motion is medicine. He didn't sign up for a gym or buy new gear. He started where he was, with the floor beneath him and the will to begin. 10 push-ups. A walk around the block. Stretching in silence while the rest of the world was still asleep. It wasn't about abs or Instagram selfies, it was about discipline. About telling his brain, I'm in charge now. On rainy days, tired days, sad days, he moved anyway. Slowly, his body responded. His shoulders pulled back. His breath deepened. His eyes stopped darting around the room. He stood taller, not because he had something to prove, but because he had finally stopped hiding. This stage wasn't visible to the outside world. His bank account hadn't changed. His phone wasn't buzzing with validation. But inside, something was roaring. He no longer flinched when he looked in the mirror. He no longer waited for motivation to visit him like a guest. He became the host of his own life. And this kind of power, it's not flashy. It's not viral. It's sacred. When your mind is focused and your body is strong, you don't chase peace, you radiate it. He was still in the same room, still wearing the same clothes, still walking the same streets. But everything was different. Because when you start showing up for yourself every single day, mentally, physically, spiritually, there's a glow that no one can take from you. And you don't have to announce it. The world can feel it, even before they see it. By the final week, something inside him had changed forever. It wasn't the kind of transformation you could photograph. It was the kind that could only be felt, in how he carried himself, how he spoke less, how he no longer reacted to things that once shattered his day. This stage wasn't about achieving anything flashy. It was about mastering something deeper. That's when rule number 9 revealed its quiet truth: detach from results, attach to effort. Because chasing results makes you anxious. But attaching to the process, that makes you unstoppable. He stopped obsessing over the numbers. How many pounds lost, how many hours studied, how many likes received. Instead, he asked one question each day: did I show up for myself today? If the answer was yes, he rested in peace. If it was no, he didn't punish himself, he prepared better for tomorrow. Because true transformation isn't about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it anyway. He realized that the world is loud with people who announce every move, every win, every step. But real power, real growth, it arrives in silence. That's why rule number 10 became his final commitment: return without announcement. He didn't post a comeback on social media. He didn't write a thread about his 30-day journey. He just came back, different. Stronger. Quieter. Focused. The people who once overlooked him now watched in silence, unsure of what had changed. His voice was calm. His presence felt heavier, like it took up more space without saying much at all. He didn't need revenge. He didn't need applause. His energy spoke for him now. That's the thing about silent growth: it doesn't need to shout. It simply arrives, and the world feels the shift. And so, 30 days passed. No grand finale. No big reveal. Just a man who rebuilt himself quietly, consistently, unapologetically. He lost some people along the way. He let go of some old patterns. He buried parts of his past that no longer served him. But what he gained was sacred. He gained clarity, self-respect, and a kind of peace you can't buy or fake or borrow. If you want a better life in 30 days, stop announcing. Stop explaining. Stop waiting for permission. Just follow these 10 rules, silently. Disappear into your effort. Rebuild in private. And return like the storm no one saw coming.